place where knowledge is born. Check it out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have to wait for people to get seated, or do we just start?
I don't know, I think crack on.
Don't click start on the timer yet. I don't know if we're all ready. People are still getting up and moving around. Oh, they already started anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Fine, off we go.
Oh my gosh. Hi everyone, how are you doing? Are you good? This place is really cool, I can't lie. Like, they were like, oh, Mad Fest advertising, and I was like, yeah. And I came here and I was like, oh wow, like,
yeah,
the
it's a
party's
whole
actually
thing.
here, this is lit. Well, oh my God, this is me. Hello, I'm Chanté. I'm a writer and I host the Guardian Pop Culture podcast. And the Guardian did a little bit of research into some cultural shifts happening in the lifestyle space, all things brand, you know, all of that good stuff. And so one of the biggest themes from this was this idea of main character energy. And I was like, you know what? I want to do my entire talk about main character energy. And I'm going to invite the most main character energy person I know, the legend, the icon, Jack Rose. Give it up for Jack Rose.
Hey.
How you doing, babe?
I'm good, thank you. Feeling very main character after that.
Yeah, as you should. Okay, listen, we've got 14 minutes and 0.01 seconds.
There we
So
go.
let's jump straight into these questions.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about main character energy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Because when I think of it, I always think of that screenshot from the TikTok where he's like, I don't care if something good happens to me.
It should have happened to me.
Instead.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was like, I hear it.
I think for me, it's like confidence, because I think often there's a misconception that as soon as someone talks about main character, it's like, oh, you're selfish or you're arrogant or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, not to get too cliche with it, but like particularly post-pandemic, you don't know what's going to happen at any point. So I feel like there's almost people have centered themselves more, but again, I don't necessarily think that equals selfishness.
Yeah.
I just think it means like, why on earth would... It's a reminder to live your life on your terms more so, because like, why on earth are you doing it for somebody else kind of thing?
Yeah.
Which I think some people are very good at.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it is about like romanticizing your own life as well. Like that's one thing I like to do. Like if I'm going to Waitrose and I'm going to buy some groceries, I'm just gonna think I'm the main character of the story, and I'm gonna be like, you know, smelling the flowers, squeezing the avocados. And I think there's something really like, I don't know, like it's very main character and very selfish to do that, but it's also what makes you feel present and what makes you feel alive.
It does, but I do worry sometimes that like just veers into ridiculous spending, which I also do. You know, it's like, oh yeah, but like I don't know if I'm going to be alive in 10 years or 50, you know what I mean? It's like you could go too far and be like, there's a line, and I definitely don't think I broached the line very well
You know,
sometimes.
it's fair enough. Because
like,
I feel like when I buy stuff, I'm always like, the money will come back. The money will come back.
I agree.
When the money is not coming back now, so I'm sitting there looking very stressed. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. So the next thing I want to talk about is, within this theme, there's this kind of obsession with health and wellness, and this, I guess, ties into this whole idea of like taking care of yourself and prioritizing your life. And with me, like, I love all of my woo-woo stuff. Like, I drink my 40-pound mushroom tea coffee from Dirty every morning.
Yeah.
I've got all sorts of supplements and whatnot. I book all sorts of insane fitness classes. Like, I love pole dance, I love hoop, I love aerial skills. Like, and all of this stuff is like health and wellness, and it's like something I've invested in a lot more post-pandemic. Like, do you have things that are your, like, these are my health and wellness things that I'm gonna be spending, I'm gonna be selfish, I'm gonna invest in, I love them?
Yeah, so I'm the same. Mine's very health and wellness now. I think like the class passy like side of stuff, even when I often will get to the end of the month and be like, oh, I didn't use any of those credits, it's never the first thing that I'm then gonna go and cancel. I also have an obsession with the prawns at M&S, and they keep getting more and more expensive, and I'm gonna still pay for them. Like, they've just gone up to 3 for 12 quid. If anyone's from M&S, please bring the price back down again. But like,
hashtag gifted.
But I'm still,
ad.
they're like a staple for me, and I just am almost like, don't get any ideas, but if they were like 3 for £400, I'd still be like, well, I love those prawns, so like, but don't do that.
I feel exactly the same way. Like, Waitrose have this like sweet potato gnocchi. What's this sweet potato? Yeah, pumpkin gnocchi.
Yeah.
It's the best. If they said this is £800,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Take my soul.
Yeah.
Because that gnocchi tastes so good. I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah.
So listen, no questions asked. But I do like. I wonder if you feel like, what is it post-pandemic that has got us into this space? Because I've even seen it more like, you're having a lot of like low alcohol drinks coming out. Like there's so much more that feels like we're moving away from like kind of the unhealthy attitudes we held before. Like, but not in a shaming way, but in a things are just different.
I do think also, so I do some teaching as well with like school student age people, kids, and loads of them aren't drinking alcohol. As in, obviously, like under 18 shouldn't be anyway, but like people who are like you.
But
sorry,
you know they be doing it.
But as in, like, even like uni level people, there's so many who they just have this, it seems, at least compared to when I was at uni, this mindset of like, they're so aware of the onlineness of like, if there's an embarrassing photo or video of you, it's there forever. But like siblings of friends of mine who are kind of like very early 20s, late teens, will just be like, no, of course I wouldn't get drunk. And I'm like, yes, no, absolutely the same. But there's just a different perception on stuff, I think. So it kind of, I guess, goes hand in hand with the health and fitness side of things, of people just wanting, I don't know, maybe it is a very much so a post-pandemic thing, but I guess it's always hard to say, isn't it? Because it just goes in trends.
Yeah, and plus, I guess with the whole TikTok thing as well, I feel like surveillance culture is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And people are becoming the police with the way that they operate on social media, recording people doing innocuous random things, and then it becoming something huge, and someone's calling for someone to be fired from their company because they made a funny face in your TikTok or whatever. So it does feel like we are watching each other a lot more, and that kind of does feed into this idea of like having to present yourself in the best way, which feels like quite cynical, but also like maybe it's working, because maybe less people will get sick if they're not, down at the pub every day.
This is right, and like as much as obviously I'm not pro the like Big Brother being everywhere, but it does kind of make me feel like I always need to make sure I look all right leaving my front door, because you can be in the back of anyone's TikTok at any point, and I don't want to look clapped. Yeah. So like, the positive to that is at least like you always dress as if you're going to bump into your ex, which is great.
Yeah, it's true. The research also suggested we've become a nation, a no nation, so fixated on this idea of setting boundaries, not overextending ourselves if we don't need to, this whole idea of quiet quitting or loud leaving. And I 100% relate to this. I always give an example, like, in the zombie movies when people are fighting for their life, I would just die.
I've always said this. Why do you run away?
Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you want to survive an apocalypse? There's no Waitrose after the apocalypse.
Right.
When all of the aliens destroy all of the M&S, there's no prawns. So what are you people trying to survive for?
I thought the same thing. So I was watching The Last of Us, and it's basically that, right? Yeah. And so like, there's specifically like the gay episode is really, really good. You should watch it if you've not. It's like episode 3 or 4. And it like, his whole thing was like, he's this like gruff survivalist, and I'm like, why? Like, what is the purpose? Like, not in a like depressed way, but I just have such a kind of disconnected thing. I'm like, if I die, I die anyway. Yeah, even without an apocalypse, I'm just like, I've had a great life. Like, I don't want to die, but I'm just like, cool, like just live in the moment, whatever.
You know what I mean?
But I also just, the apocalypse thing is strange, but I think the boundaries thing, I'm not particularly good at, but I do think younger people are really good at. So like, I'd see a lot on TikTok of people kind of being like, oh, this is X number of hours, and older generations love to be like, well, you wouldn't have lasted a day, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, cool, like, I don't care. Like, why would I want to, okay, you worked like 14 hours a day, lol. Like, why, I'm not interested in ever needing to have done that. And I think also with the no thing, have you seen the article or the headline? It's actually a Guardian one, I think, where Kim Cattrall says, I don't want to spend even an hour doing something I don't want to do, or like in a situation that basically isn't bringing out happiness. And I'm like, slay, that is exactly how I live my life.
Facts. One thing about me, I'm not trying to persist.
No.
I'm not trying to suffer. No. I'm not trying to work through anything. It's like, as soon as there's some sort of obstacle,
agreed.
Just throw it in the bin. Nothing is that deep. Nothing in life is worth really trying for. I'm not even joking. But this isn't even a work thing, though. It's happening in our relationships, too. So The Guardian, before it was a TikTok trend, actually, wrote an article about, like, beige flags. So things that make someone too boring to date. Because it's not even about the extremes of you being abusive or a horrible person or having these red flags. It's like, if I go on your profile and it's like, let's debate pineapple on pizza, just know, I've actually destroyed my phone.
Yes.
Because it's not enough for me to not swipe for you. I have to remove myself from the internet. Because I'm sick and tired of it. Do you have beige flags? Like, why do you think we're now applying this stuff?
Maybe my beige flag is that I don't think they are beige flags. I think they're red flags.
Oh, really?
So like, if I see on someone's profile, it's like 6'2", if that matters, die. Like, that's not a beige flag. That's like, I'm going to not swipe on you, so it might as well be a red flag. Do you know what I mean? I would rather you just be like, I have cheated on all 7 of my exes, than say 6'2", if it matters.
Yeah.
Because it's cringe.
Yeah.
At least, like, I don't know.
It's an indicator, though, because sometimes I feel like when you're so confident to be online in the most boring way possible,
Yes.
you probably are good looking. You probably never had to develop a personality ever in your life.
Right.
And so now you've actually come to abuse us with how boring you are.
Something I
And so you're
find
probably
boring.
a terrible person.
These prompts. Yeah.
And you're like, do you
Like,
think anyone's going to be here?
No, it's hell. And I don't understand it. Also, my biggest one, which I guess is, it's like a gripe, is people who think that enjoying travel is a personality trait.
No, for real.
Who
Been to 54
who does
countries.
not enjoy travel? No, but it's that one, like, I get, if you're like properly like a real like travel, okay, fine. But as just someone is like, things that I enjoy, travel.
Oh.
Imagine saying things I don't enjoy, travel. Like, it's just so it's inane. Like, I don't understand it at all.
All the people are like, I go crazy for food.
Right.
Okay, so does your body, so
Right.
you don't die.
Right,
like,
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why do you think that makes you
Right.
unique? But anyway, listen, the
Typical
day,
Sunday morning, a stroll in the park.
you're like, do you know what I mean? Like, everybody needs
But
to go
that's
and
a red
download
flag.
new
That's what I'm
personality.
saying. That's not that to me.
It's not
It's
even
not a
beige
beige
to you.
flag. For me, it's almost like, not to, I'm sure the Guardian research is great, but like for me, it's either a green flag. Or there is no in between. If it's slightly not a green, then it's a red.
It's
because
red, yeah.
what's the point in beige? It's either like it's a good thing or a bad thing, and it's a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's more just people being like, you're not an evil person, but you're just so boring, you might as well be evil.
But I think that is evil.
Yeah.
I'd actually rather be evil than. It's that thing of like if someone describes you as nice.
Wow, yeah, you hate
You'd
me.
rather die,
You
yeah.
hate me.
So like, I think, but oh God, boring.
It's a lot.
Imagine.
It's a lot. Okay, the last thing was this whole idea of small pleasures. Basically, 70% of people are finding joy in the simpler things, and that could be like walking the dog on a Sunday morning, like you
Right.
actually hate.
Travel.
Or washing your hair for 2 hours, or
Yeah.
color coordinating your bookshelf. Like, for me, I don't know if it's small, but one thing about me, it doesn't matter how broke or down bad I am. I could be on my last 80 pounds, like rent is due, bailiff's knocking at the door.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my nails done.
Right.
I'm gonna sit for 3 hours and get the most intricate nail design every single month without fail.
Yeah.
Because it's just the thing that brings me joy. It's my small pleasure. Like, do you have anything like that? What are your small pleasures?
I think on that side of things, it's like my hair. So I just have an appointment with my barber every Wednesday at 12 o'clock. I get my hair cut.
Every Wednesday?
Yeah, because I get a skin fade. So as soon as I can start pinching it on the sides, like
It's gotta go.
yeah. So I literally I had it 2.5 hours ago.
I'm gonna start using it fresh.
Yeah, I did.
okay?
It's like if you want to give it a feel, let me know. And then I don't know, like pleasures, but like my guilty pleasure is just watching Real Housewives. Like I started in lockdown, and I've basically moved across all the franchises now. I just think it's the best thing in the world. Like I'm not very good at relaxing, but that's the one thing where I can just sit down and be like, I've just watched 25 episodes in a row.
Yes,
Like, one of those.
yes. I feel like TV is like, yeah, it is a small pleasure, but it can also be a bit of a guilty pleasure. But I feel like you should never feel guilty about the TV shows that you watch. Like,
I agree.
If you, apart from The Idol, if you watch The Idol and you enjoy it, that says a lot about you, because that show was ass. But
Did you watch the whole thing?
unfortunately, yeah, because I just
Right.
felt like it's not enough for me to just hate this after one episode.
Right.
I need to validate my hate for it by seeing it through to the end.
Right.
And I hated it all the way through. So I was like, I feel justified in my feelings. So yeah.
See, I couldn't do a hate watch. I'm the same with a book. Like, if I don't like it within like an episode
Yeah.
or 20 pages, I just like that's that.
I think hate is the fire that fuels me, you know? Sometimes hate is
I
the-
would
is the
say that
fire.
about you,
Do you
actually.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being a hater, that's like
Yeah.
my #1 favorite hobby.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 1 minute and 46 seconds left. Are there any questions? It could be about anything we've spoken about. It could be, can I come and touch Jack's head? Anything
How much of a
anyone
hater you
wants to contribute, because, you know, we'll be nattering on forever. I don't know if there's mics. I don't know if there's... Oh, you've come to run. There's no questions.
It's ideal.
Do you know what I mean? They were bet on my case. Like, make sure there's no questions. There's not even one question.
I think we've said everything. We
Oh,
need
wait,
to
there's
say,
one
that's
right
all.
at the back. Right.
Oh yeah,
over
okay,
there.
clear. Get your steps in.
Yes. Hope the Apple Watch is on.
Yeah, in here. I literally don't walk if I've not got my Apple Watch on. I'm
No,
like,
but
what's
it's-
the point? It doesn't count.
It's giving me mental illness.
Can't see. 1 second.
1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, the glasses are...
Oh.
Not the glasses coming on. The library is open.
Hi everyone. Returning to your debate about beige flags, don't you feel like not everyone can be super interesting and out there and quirky, and some people just have to be beige, and then the people that are super interesting, like you guys, are that for everybody else?
Maybe. But I think that's then at least like... maybe if we don't make such sweeping statements, but I think that still is
We exist in
fine
extremes.
because I can be like, oh, that's not my kind of person who says what I believe to be a boring response.
Yeah.
Because clearly we're not going to mesh because I'm phenomenally interesting, as you just said. So I guess, yeah, maybe that is, I know what you mean, as in, because everyone has a person or like a type, right?
There's someone for, I don't know, but there's someone for most people, and even boring people deserve to find love, just not with me.
But my big thing on that is that I think some people are so boring on dating apps, but aren't necessarily actually boring in real life. I think that's where the disconnect is for me. It's like, yes, okay, you might not be a comedian, but to say like something I struggle with the most, these prompts on Hinge, is like, you can do better than that. And if you can't, then you shouldn't be on the app, in my opinion. I don't think that's...
We need to start banning them.
Do you know what I mean?
They're never going to invite us back home.
No, but you know what I mean, isn't it? It's not me just being like, you are a boring person and therefore I can't bear you. It's like, put a bit of effort in. Like, ask a friend, like phone a friend, ask the audience. Like, there's something you can do in that situation that is more exciting than what you've just done.
Absolutely. And on that
I appreciate your
amazing
question.
note,
Thanks.
thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much, Jack. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Slay.
I came prepared for the rain.